Overall, there was a published report today that say overall frustration among Democrats with President Biden. Is this administration concerned about that criticism from Democrats? And it also says that the president is incapable of the urgency needed because of Roe V Wade being overturned. Any response from the administration to those published reports?
So when you say Democrats, you mean elected officials or
elected Democratic officials?
Okay.
Overall frustration with the Biden administration.
So here's the thing I've heard of this. The president has shown, if you look at the different issues that have come up most recently, in particular, let's start with gun violence. The president showed urgency. He showed fury. He showed frustration. He spoke to that issue at every time that he could, whether he was at Uvalde or Buffalo or did a primetime address, and we were able to get a first step. Still a lot more to do. A bipartisan gun reform piece of legislation, which is something that we have not seen in 30 years. A lot of that is because of his leadership. Same thing that he was able to do 30 years ago when we saw the assault weapons ban. So that he showed urgency there, and we were able to deliver in a bipartisan way. When it comes to Roe v. Wade, within hours of the announcement of the decision that we heard from SCOTUS, he put forth executive authorities that went into effect with the medication that's approved medication from FDA, and also making sure that calling on DOJ to protect women who are crossing the lines because they have to make decision on their health. And those are things that actually matter. There's more work to do. He's going to look at everything that he can do on the legal authority. But here's the thing, when it comes to Roe, when it comes to a precedent that's been around for nearly 50 years, what needs to happen is Congress needs to act. We have to codify Roe. We have to make sure that it is the law of the land, and that's what he's going to keep speaking to.
With the criticism of the president, is this administration concerned about how the Democrats will perform in the midterm elections?
Well, as you know, I can't talk about the midterms from here. That will get me into big trouble. Well, I'm just saying I got to be careful about that.
Expressed any concern?
I got to be careful about that. Look, the president wants to make sure that we continue delivering for the American people. He has said, what I can say from here, if we are in a position where Congress does not act, as we're speaking to on Roe v. Wade, and does not codify Roe, make Roe the law of the land, then the American public should make their voices heard. They should make their voices heard at the ballot box. And that is something that he's going to call on. That is going to be something that he's going to speak on very loudly and very aggressively, as you laid out. And this is an important issue. He has said this was an extreme decision by the court. He has said this is going to change the lives of so many women, upend their lives, if you will, because of this extreme decision, and it should not stand. And what we saw a couple weeks ago almost 2 weeks ago, is not the end. It is only the beginning, and we just have to keep working towards that.
Finally, as far as a different matter entirely, but as far as the letter that was presented to you, signed by 70 members of the White House press corps, any reaction from the administration regarding that letter?
Well, you could say I responded to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did say you would talk to us, but
yeah,
that was all I heard. Is there anything else you can add?
Well, look, we're coming into a different place of COVID, right? Things are starting to open up. We're even doing tours here. We had 7,000 people out in the South Lawn yesterday, military families and others to celebrate 4th of July, which was a wonderful event. It was great to have to see our military families out there. And so, we understand. We want to be accessible. We want the president his events to be accessible, and we are working to that with the understanding that we have been working through as we look at his events during this pandemic, and we're trying to see what the next steps are. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're willing to work with you on this, and this is also a priority of ours.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have to say anything. I'm a doctor too.